Because you're quite misty though, because you've been like falling in and out of consciousness, semi-consciousness.
You're getting this experience.
You sort of like when I saw the after-match presentation, I'm like, is this what?
yeah. What?
Have they cancelled it or?
Yeah. Have they cancelled it? They made me yearn for the 100. Like, give me some of that long form.
Who's your best Aussie friend?
Yeah, great question.
I wouldn't say I have a best one.
Who's your best Australian friend?
Um,
Am I missing a private joke? Why is there a geezer dropping weird riffs every few minutes?
a geezer.
Hello and welcome to Tailenders.
Hello, and thank you for having us on Tailenders.
Audio, visual. That's it. But
that's it.
Hello to the BBC iPlayer viewers. Hello to the YouTube viewers. We'll get to your comments from last week in a second.
Oh, for God.
And welcome to our old friends listening on the old-fashioned wireless.
Go well, cheers, love you.
This is G-Force Greg James. We have Jimmy Anderson over there.
Best
Sorry,
ever do-
Sir Jimmy Anderson over there.
Best to ever do it.
And we have Felix White over there.
Go well, cheers.
Let's talk about the guitar quickly.
Yeah, we can do. I felt like, because obviously the last one we did, the first episode of the Ashes series, I did realise that we were doing YouTube for the first time. So we were coming in sort of not contextualised for maybe quite a lot of people that were coming for Ashes chats. So I felt conscious of that, but I was sort of playing guitar. If you haven't come across Tailenders in the past, we developed a system where you guys are chatting, and I think it started with it was just funny to us that I'd be playing sad music while Jimmy talked about fast bowling, and it's been stitched into the show. But I wouldn't say it was our USP against the other cricket shows, but I have noticed
Well, it's one of them.
this week when we've been doing a post-mortem of Ashes shows that no one else is playing guitar in the background.
Exactly.
So
We always
that
like to do things a little bit differently. And because Felix is a rock star, so it makes sense to have the guitar. Jimmy's the cricketer, so he does the cricket stuff.
throwing a ball.
I just sort of host things.
Just doing what he does.
So I do that, and I like cricket. And so that's why we're here.
You mentioned that people were talking about. Do you want to tell me?
Well, yeah. You said that we were sort of conscious during the show last week. I wasn't. I didn't think about it going on BBC Sports YouTube.
Right.
I thought it might go on BBC Cricket YouTube, which
Yeah.
might be slightly less sort of angry.
Yeah.
Whereas the BBC Sport YouTube, I feel like...
That's a brutal home for the guitar, isn't it?
Yeah, it felt like we were thrown into sort of football fan territory.
Yeah.
And then you always get,
Go on then, tell me.
Am I missing a private joke? Why is there a geezer dropping weird riffs every few minutes?
A geezer.
A geezer dropping weird riffs. I'm not even sure they were that weird, or I'm a geezer.
I like them.
Okay.
This one was from Dan Morgan.
Cheers, Dan. Go well.
This guy said, "So odd. Can't imagine Jimmy doing a pod with these guys."
He's been doing it for 8 years.
7 years.
Fair
Do
play.
you ever think that, Jimmy?
He goes, fair play to the lads for not being overwhelmed. If anything, we were underwhelmed. Wouldn't have thought this was Jimmy's cup of tea. Who am I, though? Do you like being
I have
here?
no idea who it is. So.
No, do you like being here?
Well, I wouldn't be doing it for 7 years if I didn't enjoy
Oh,
it.
babes.
That's nice.
That's sweet.
I'll take that. Loads of other weird ones as well, but this was quite nice. Can we please keep doing Tailenders with the camera? Really enjoyed this format. Thank you, SGD7726.
Thank you all for your input. And I don't know what we're going to do with the weird riffs. We might do them a little bit, but there's a lot of cricket to talk about.
Yeah, don't be ashamed to do riffs. I like them. We all like them. The Tailenders community likes them. So thanks for watching iPlayer. Thanks for watching on YouTube. We're going to be here after every Ashes test. Today's podcast is a podcast of two halves, okay? We must talk about the doom and gloom. We have to exorcise those demons from within us.
Yeah,
we all have them.
Put.
We're all holding stuff, and this is a release for all the listeners and for us and the viewers. But the second half of the podcast is going to be, so doom and gloom, second half, hope and happiness. Okay?
Nice narrative arc.
Because
sort of the opposite of the 2 days of Test cricket we've had.
Yeah, I don't really know how to summarise that without...
I'm not optimistic first day.
Oh, hope and happiness.
An apocalyptic second one.
Okay, got you. So
I don't know where to begin really with how I feel.
Yeah, come
I
on.
still
Talk about how
feel
you
a few
feel.
days on. I feel. What the was that?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's
Yeah.
honestly how I feel.
Yeah.
And I still can't. And I've watched the highlights a couple of times just to try and exposure therapy to go, did I miss something? Was this good?
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
Right.
I think it was.
Do you mean good as in entertainment? Because clearly batting wasn't good. But
I think it was
just
bad
as
test
a
match.
thing.
It can't be a good test match if it's 2 days. It's just too quick. My hot take is that I think they've been doom scroll. I think they're watching too much TikTok. It's their brains are gone. You know, they just lost. They lost the train of thought. And they just go, and they batted and they played the test match like they're a teenager obsessed with their phone. Go, next. No, dopamine. We're all out again.
Do you know what it was? Is like when you're posting stuff, even if it's embarrassing or humiliating, you're like, people will like this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it online.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like that. This will get attention.
It shouldn't have been filmed, that test match. It shouldn't have been filmed. They should have shut the cameras off. You all lost your heads. It's all unhinged. It's unhinged, that test match. Jimmy, what do you think? Do you understand the torment that we all go through as cricket fans, having to watch that and get up early and mess with our body clocks?
Interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, it's my first experience of it, like proper experience of getting up in the night or staying up for the first bit and then maybe getting a couple of hours sleep. And then the worst bit for me was when you do fall asleep. Like I fell asleep at like 3 o'clock both days. So I watched the first hour of both first and second day. And then day one, like obviously I was a bit, oh God, this is not started well.
No.
Then when I woke up for the last couple of hours, obviously it was a good finish for England and we were on top at the end of the first day.
Yeah.
And then the second day, again, did the first hour, well ahead in the game, got nearly 100-run lead. And then I woke up to them having won the game. Yeah, so I was like, what has just happened?
That's the experience of watching the Ashes, though. Your first experience has actually been what we've been doing for majority for 20 odd years. A very, very exaggerated version of it, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, the maddest version of it ever.
Because you're quite misty, though, because you've been like falling in and out of consciousness, semi-consciousness.
I love you're getting this experience.
You sort of, like when I saw the after match presentation, I'm like, is this what?
What are they,
have they cancelled it or
have they
deemed the pitch too dangerous to play?
It's so true. You can't even fathom what's happened. You're so
Has there been
right.
an evacuation? Have they cancelled the test match? Who's died? What? That's what it felt. Yeah,
do you know what the other thing is that it's like it's quite a discipline watching overseas Ashes series, and you need a bit of time to just get yourself on the clock or into that zone, because you do feel like you're living two different lives. You're living your real life during the day, pretending you're not that tired. And then you've got your sort of subculture community where you're trying to watch the Ashes during the night. And the thing, I think we all feel angry for different reasons about what happened, but it robbed us of setting our body clocks to the Ashes, because in that first test, you need 4 or 5 days just to be like, I'm getting into the rhythm of what this is going to be. So it felt like a sort of, like I say, being in a washing machine for 2 days and like, sorry, what? I don't really understand. Have they cancelled it? It was that feeling of loss to it.
I wish that it had been cancelled. Someone the ICC should have cancelled it halfway through.
And just said, sorry, this is not...
You're all in this.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
The same way they used to do pitches, but just the batting's not fit for purpose. What they did in Sabina Park.
No, stop. You've lost your heads. Let's start again. Deep breath.
Are we going to do technical? Oh, Jimmy, you got?
My other point about the match as a whole and my experience of watching it here was the what I saw, and like day one, for example, watched the first hour, then watched the last couple of hours, then caught up on the highlights, everything I missed in between. And then I saw the reaction, and it was like, it's lived up to the hype, it's going to be. And I was like, what? That's not what I've just watched. The hype was for this amazing test series, and I didn't feel like the standard of either batting or bowling from both sides was incredible until Travis Head on day two. I thought
the final day.
Yeah, but even that was like, I'm just having swipe it.
It did.
See what happens,
felt
and then
like-
it came off.
Yeah.
Like he's done it many times before. And I know that's the way he plays, but it did feel a little bit like, well, no one else has scored runs here, so I'm just having a dart.
Yeah, that's it. It's sort of like junk food cricket a bit. It was just, we were just gorging on quick, snappy bits of, oh, great, you know, 4 wickets have fallen. Oh, okay, there's a 6. Everyone's out. Oh, we're back in the game. What?
It's weird because it makes you yearn for the old day, a session, blocking, leaving. It makes you long for it, doesn't it?
It made me yearn for the 100. Like, give me some of that long form.
Something dull.
Yeah.
Like, Jim, I know they're recently your teammates, so you might be restricting what you can say, but what did you think about of everything's been made of, like in all the postmortems, that on that wicket in Perth, you do not drive when the ball's short and wide and they're fishing for it with the amount of bounce. Like, what have you made just of shot selection of that English middle order, especially, and top order, actually?
Yeah, it's interesting you focus on the England team's shot selection, because we bowled Australia out for 130.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they played well first innings.
No.
Yeah.
So I think we could. That is one positive that England can take forward, is that they look pretty average in that first innings, and we bowled really well.
Yeah.
And we left some marks on them. You know, hit them with pace, and they weren't comfortable with it.
By the way, the Mark Wood ball to Cameron Green that's one of the most terrifying ones I've ever seen. That was horrible.
Yeah.
That's because we've talked about Woody before and the angle that he bowls and the skid and the sort of surprise. And Cameron Green is massive. To get him right in the head is so. There are actual
and
hits
you know what?
that happen.
There's some equivalence there. So I know you're going to finish your point in a second, Jimmy, but it made me think a little bit of 05 in that sense, when I know that might be reaching for it, but we lost that first test in 05, obviously. And I bet if you read all the press after that first test, it would be very similar to what we've had this week with this series. And the similarity in those games is that the bowling attack left marks on them. So exactly what you just said there with Green and Wood, we had in 05, Ponting getting hit and all that kind of thing, Langer and Hayden getting rushed. Do you think, Jim, that there's still that glimmer, because Australia were frightened by that? They were shell-shocked themselves. I know that's the term being used the other way now at England. But do you think that holds us in any good stead going in the series, but knowing that the Australians knowing that we can rush them? Because quite often in overseas tours, we haven't had that from an entire bowling attack.
Yeah, as I just said, I think it's definitely a positive to take forward how they played. I don't think there's... I know Head played really well. Smith, you know what sort of player he is. Labuschagne got runs in the second dig, but I think that was off the back of Head getting runs, really. But that first innings, you're looking at him thinking there's not a huge amount to be worried about. I know it could be a dangerous thing to say, but I thought Carey was probably the one who looked the most comfortable out of all of them. So I just think that, if England can bowl like that again, then there's no reason why we can't bowl them out cheaply again.
And do you think one of the reasons they didn't bowl like that again in the second innings is because they had about 30 overs rest, or did they quite not hit their lines and their lengths?
I honestly can't imagine that after bowling 10 overs each in the first innings that they'd be too tired by the day 2 afternoon and not have recovered, and
or maybe just not ready, not quite, just not maybe annoyed.
Potentially, yeah, but
because we've talked to you before about you getting annoyed when the batters don't give you enough time to prepare mentally, not necessarily physically.
I just think it's like the first innings they weren't ready. First innings they lost 5 wickets for 12 runs, but then still came out and bowled really well.
Right.
I don't think that you can use that as an excuse. I think it's just a case of, potentially first innings there was adrenaline there, and you're like first game of the series, you want to really hit them hard. I mean, the paces were down, but it was like 2 or 3 miles an hour. It was not like they've dropped off 10 miles an hour.
Right. But it did seem like the plans went out the window when Head started kicking off, and it felt like a completely different game and a completely different wicket when Head started teeing off, and all that ferocious bowling from the first innings just wasn't there. It didn't look like the same attack, really.
I think that's a bit harsh. I think it was there. I just think he played really well. Like they bowled short at him. He just had an answer for it. I feel, if anything, the one criticism I'd have in that second innings was it became predictable. It became he knew they were bowling short. I think he said this even in his after-match interview. As soon as he knew the plan was to go short, he said, "I'll just sit on the back foot and hit his areas." He was aiming behind square on the offside, uppercutting short balls. You know, when you sit back, it's easier to play that pull shot that he hit a couple of times through mid-wicket. He was helping it on its way. He was moving around the crease. He was unpredictable. Like, it's hard to attack someone when they're moving around that much. But this was once he got used to that sort of bowling. So I just, my one criticism would be potentially not being that predictable with it in the future.
But it's odd because it was sort of Stokesian, the innings. It was like Headingley a bit, in that it just looked like he was always going to find the boundary. He was always going to find a way. So I wonder what Stokes is thinking about when that's happening, sort of out-Stokesing Stokes in a way, and causing this panic of, well, he's doing what I would do if I was, so how do I... And it was almost like a malfunction from everyone going, I don't know how, oh, do we go short now? No. Yes. No, do we? Not sure. And it felt like, what would you have done?
No,
what would the plan have been from you?
I think it felt like it was just, everything was rushed. Like they just bowled ball after ball over after over, rather than actually take a little bit of time and just slow things down. And the part of the issue you've got when you've got a pace attack like that, you've got two pacers which are fast and faster pretty much. Like, there's nothing, you can't just, they tried to bring Root on, but that didn't really work. You've no frontline spinner to just say, right, let's bowl 4 overs just to change the pace of the game, make it slightly different for Head, give him something else to think about. I'd be thinking, if he's becoming unpredictable as a batter, then I've got to try and become unpredictable as a bowler. Change your pace, change your lengths and the fields and stuff like that. Try and make him hit where he doesn't want to hit. And I think it just felt like it was just this onslaught, and everything was just happening so quickly, and England were a little bit like...
It reminds me of, I remember Arteta saying that, and Gary Neville made the same point, that Anfield, for some reason in football, you get in situations where it just feels like quicksand. It's just all happening too quickly for you for whatever reason. Have you had that? Is that something specific in Australia where you're like, it's just moving too quickly for me and I can't control it?
I don't think it's not necessarily Australia, just in Test cricket in general. Yeah. Like, there can be periods of play where it's like the game's gone. Like, you've lost 5 wickets for nothing. You're like, oh, how's that happened? Yeah. And then you when you're bowling, they've put on 18. You're like, oh my God, they only need another 20 to win. How has this happened?
Yeah.
So there are definitely times that's happened to me and the teams I played.
There might also be an explanation here, which is we were all watching at home going, sorry, where are we in this game? What? Oh, we're in the 4th innings. It's day 2. There's a lot to catch up on. And there was no real rhythm to the game apart from you bat a bit. Oh no, now it's our turn. You bat again. Oh, it was a lot of confusion, maybe from the players as well, getting used to an Ashes series and just getting used to play whatever. But Travis Head made it look very easy to bat, as we've said. As Felix was saying earlier, what was happening with the England batters? Why did they make it look much more difficult? What's going on there?
I feel like just the way Head played that innings, he obviously had a really clear plan. He had clear areas he wanted to target, and they were square of the wicket. You look at his wagon wheel, lots of runs square of the wicket, both sides. He only drove the ball when it was really full, like right under his eyes, proper half volley length. He hit a couple down the ground, a couple through extra cover. And when it became predictable with the short ball, he was uppercutting and playing all the shots that the England players want to play. But I just think when England batted, they didn't have that clarity of plan. Like, I remember in the 2010 series, we lost at Perth. It was a whacker, but it was a very similar pitch, very bouncy. Graham Gooch was a batting coach, and he'd say the cover drive is a really hard shot to play from length because of the bounce. So I think it was Pope, Brook and Root. Both, I know Root he dragged on, but it's the same sort of length, same sort of shot, trying to access extra cover on that wicket was really difficult. So I think, like, I'm sure they're thinking this as well. I don't have an issue with them trying to attack. Like, I think that is the way they play. They've got some frightening players. We saw Brook in the first innings, Pope in the first innings. Like, it's just the way you execute your plan. And I don't think hitting extra cover was the way to go on that wicket. I think you look at Head, it's accessing square, waiting for the ball to come to you, square the wicket, behind the wicket even, just waiting for it playing it as late as possible. And I know Head was moving around, but when he made contact with the ball, it was right on the crease, and where you could see the England players, when they were trying to hit the ball, it was right out in front of them. So I think just playing late, as late as possible, would have been a better option.
It's an interesting one, though, for example, with Crawley, because we all know that Crawley, when he's successful, he's front foot, drives the ball. That's what he does. So, for example, with Crawley, do you think there wouldn't have been any conversation with this team about not doing what you just said? Graham Gooch would have said, don't try and drive. Do you think they would have been given license just to drive and play that way?
Yeah, you're given license to play the way you want to play. But it's down to you as a player to figure out, right, these conditions are different to what we're used to.
Yeah.
Stark is going to bowl across generally, getting a bit of bounce with a bit of pace. Where are my scoring options? And it's probably back foot, because he doesn't, he bowls the odd full one, but that's when he's trying to swing it back in. When he's bowling length, it's usually back of a length where you can potentially, I'm talking like a battery.
No, but you've seen enough of it. You've been there.
But I just felt with the Crawley one, certainly in the first innings, I felt like he had 2023 in his head. That first ball that he hit coming through the covers for 4, he wanted to make that statement early, and you could see him going, like, he was wanting to hit that ball, and they weren't, start bowl really well, nice length, and he blocked a few like quite powerfully, and he was going hard at it. And then that 6th ball, he's gone after it and nicked it. And then the second innings, because of that, he's then tentative, and then he's not as committed to the shot.
But looks tense as well, because you would be.
But that's just the nature of, that's just one of the challenges of Test cricket. And there's no reason why you can't come to Brisbane and whack one of the first balls for 4 and then get England into get that mindset shifted from a slightly negative one into a positive one.
So I'm just writing it down. This is how we play. Okay, it's always said. This is how we play. Okay, maybe it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
but it's more nuanced than just going, "This is how we play." But do you think to that point they will be going away this week and they'll be going to bet golf, then Brisbane? No, we've seen the photos. Bet golf. Bad clothes, terrible clothes on the golf course.
Do you think they tried to say no one take photos of playing golf, or is there a lot of like a paparazzi situation?
Cameras.
A nice relaxing game of golf. Anyway, off to Brisbane.
Yeah.
Will that top order, middle order, watch that stuff back and go, we played bad shots there? Or do you think they'll go, that's how we play? Will there be any adjustment, do you think?
I would be surprised if there isn't some adjustment.
Right.
I don't think that they're going to go away and go, right, we're going to block it or try. No. They're going to try and, if anything, they'll try and be more aggressive. So you see the way Brooke got 50 in that first innings.
No, don't go more aggressive. Go the other way, mate.
But it's where so my point is, it's the shots you play.
Of course.
Like it's pointless being aggressive and just like trying to play that shot outside of stump that's not working.
Yeah.
It's taking a lesson from Head. How's he scored on this pitch, and how can you adapt your game to those conditions? Because I don't see them at all going, we're just going to take a step back here and just be a bit more cautious.
Jim, do you think they got wound up a little bit with the idea of, like you said, about statements about like Crawley thinking 23, I've got to get to that positive start? What was like encouraging, I think the reason we were all quite pumped about this series is because we felt like the India series, even though we've lost that last test when we shouldn't have done, that they were sort of honing all that instinct, and they were like getting in the trenches when they needed to, and it felt like, we're building to a thing where there's going to have that dimension to it. Do you think with all the build up, because it probably has been the most hyped Ashes series since your 110-11, well, yeah, it probably is actually in memory. Do you think they just got a little bit carried away with that idea of like make a statement and forgot that sort of discipline, and just got a bit overhyped about we got to make the first blow?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the hype would have really affected anyone. I think they're very conscious of making sure it's whatever happens in the dressing room between the squad that's all that matters really. They don't really care about what people say about them. I think that's quite obvious because people have been saying this for quite a while about how they play, but they're really conscious of making sure it's just in that dressing room that is the thing that matters. And I think the frustration will just be that they got into a great position, and unfortunately it's happened a few times before where they've got into good positions and not quite capitalised on it. I think India last summer was one of them as well. But being 100 ahead in Perth, the first test of the Ashes with 9 wickets left, you should be absolutely ruthless in that. You need to be ruthless in that situation, and you need 1 or 2 players to put their hands up and go, right, I'm taking this game away from them. And they would have been thinking that, but it's just the nature of how they tried to go about it. I think it was a little bit off.
Let's move on to reasons to be cheerful. One final question on the Australia batting lineup for the next test. Would you open with Head?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just say, thanks a lot, Usman, you've been a great guy, see you later.
Well, it depends. I feel like you could bat him in the middle order, Khawaja, or you could say,
cheers.
Just make sure you get your back right, fully fit again. We're going to go with Head at the top, and then you could bring Mitch Marsh or Bo Webster into that middle order, who more bowling
Mitch
option.
Marsh.
Another bowling option.
Scary.
Strengthen that batting lineup, and then let Travis Head go out and try and do that again.
Yeah.
And we've talked a little bit about how we bowled and getting out bowled him at 130, Jim. But do you feel like that attack worked as a 5-prong attack? Did you feel like, I've got something right here?
Well, I think it 100% did work in the first innings. Yeah, we not only did we bowl them out cheaply, we as we've talked about, landed a few blows as well. So I think that'll definitely be in their heads. So I would not be surprised at all if we go in with the same 11 as we did at Perth. But then I just, as I mentioned before, I just wonder whether we lack that little bit of nuance in the second innings with a bit of something different, bit of change of pace in some way, whether it's a spinner, whether it's a more controlled bowler. But, you know, in the first innings, Stokes did that job. And you know, I thought the old bowler Gus Atkinson I was really impressed with in the first innings. Didn't get any wickets in the game, but thought he bowled well. Jofra looked great. Mark Wood bowled rapid, again wicketless, but lots of positive signs there, I thought.
Is it a concern that Stoke took the majority of the wickets, or is that just a unit working well together?
That's just the nature of the game. Like, it quite often happens like that, where you know, Jofra could have got 4 for in that first spell. Gus Atkinson could have took 3 for, and then there's not many wickets left for. But because they've created pressure, and Stokes can come on.
But to your point about having a little bit of some variety, Stokes is that variety. He's a very different bowler to all the other seamers. Yeah. So you need, but what I guess I'm getting at is in a world where Stokes, his knee, his body could give out at any moment, you might need that variety from somewhere else. And where does that come from?
So I mean, there's all different ways you can get variety. And when I was watching it, I did think that they're all slightly different, those bowlers, but the release points are quite similar. They've all got quite straight arms. You know, I know they all move the ball in different ways, but that's where Stokes is different. His release point's different. It's a little bit past the vertical, and that's where I thought maybe someone like Josh Tongue could come in, and he's also got that sort of release point. He's still got the pace that they want, but potentially he could be someone that you could throw in there just for a bit of difference.
It's not over this, by the way.
No, it's far from over.
You cannot judge this series on that first test, and I know it was sad for us watching at home. I wanted my whole weekend to be Ashes based. I said to Ellie Oldroyd, if this England team ruin Christmas, I'll never forgive them. I'll never forgive them.
Yeah, they've done
it was horrible for everyone who was out there, and I do feel sad for those people who bought tickets to go and see their first Ashes test. But it's just sport is a nightmare. Being a sports fan is a nightmare. Being a cricket fan is a disaster waiting to happen.
But it is also, I will say, just like to be cheerful about it, you know, like you must rhyme with this a little bit, Jim, that there is in that batting unit, if you think about Root, Brook, Duckett, Stokes, there are players in that are clearly capable of scoring big runs in Australia. In the past, we've had teams where you've just felt like, whether this is unfair or not, they're just probably about 30% actually out of their depth to actually, you're thinking, I don't know how we're getting the runs.
They shouldn't be there.
But with the rest of this series, you're feeling like there's no doubt in anyone's minds that order is capable of scoring runs.
But that's why people were pissed off, though.
Exactly.
Isn't it? They're like, we know how good you're. Like you are genuinely some of the best players on earth.
Right, but they've got 4 tests to make good decisions, and it could still. Do you know what I mean? They've still got a lot of time to make a lot of good decisions.
But I thought generally, like, watching that, was it the first morning? I thought Duckett looked so assured. I know he got 21 off 20 balls, but I thought he looks cool here. He's calm. Pope was scoring as well at the other end. So I think there was some good signs there. It's just about, you've got to be ruthless in these sorts of series and situations. You've got to go on and get the bigger scores, and we didn't quite manage to do that this test.
Yeah, and it was all in fast forward, the whole thing. No one could catch their breath. No one knew what was going on. I don't think there was even time to really assess what was happening and to change your plan. It was just too quick. They lost 9 for 100 after lunch.
That
Unbelievable.
in one session, isn't it? Yeah.
But even the other weird thing is to get to 200, England probably didn't even deserve that. They didn't even deserve to get to 200 ahead for the final chase. But I'm not holding out. I'm not giving up.
No, I actually feel more optimistic for this chat.
There's 4 tests left.
No, I know, but some of the language from some of the pundits and some of the podcasts, I've gorged on all the podcasts. It's like it's all over. They'll be judged for this, and and they'll have to repent for their sins.
I know a lot of that,
but I don't think we're there yet. 2 more tests, and we're like this. There we are.
I've got a quick question for you,
please.
As fans, like proper diehard fans, ish. Would you rather?
What do you mean ish? What's the ish?
No, not die. I mean, in a good way. You won't.
I'd die for cricket. I'd die for cricket.
I'd die hard.
All right, as diehard fans,
thank you. I'd die hard.
Would you,
with a vengeance,
rather England get bowled out in that second innings for 160 odd or whatever they got? In 60 overs. So they say they're 20 for 3, 30 for 4, and then they graft up to 160 odd. And they've got a 200 lead, but it's at lunch on day 3 or in the afternoon on day 3. Would you prefer that? Or would you rather than just get bowled out for 167?
It's a fantastic
question. Mean sort of get it done, rip the plaster off?
It feels like because when I look at the game and I hear people's opinion afterwards saying we need to dig in a bit more, we need to graft a bit more.
Yeah.
Like I've played in teams in Australia where if we grafted on that first morning, we'd be 120 all out in 45 overs.
Right.
So you're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah.
But the destination.
At least they've got a chance of scoring some runs.
And the flip to that is if Khawaja had opened that innings for Australia, we might have but they might have gone nowhere, and we might have got them in trouble type thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good question. It's about what in traditional English cricket fans is an acceptable way to get out. That's the question you're asking.
Slow, painful death.
Yeah, and that is acceptable. Death. Nicking off blocking.
Yeah.
Totally acceptable way to get out. Thank you, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you just push it a wide one.
See you next week. Just
have a full-blown drive. No.
Unacceptable way to get out.
Unacceptable.
So I think there's a really interesting point that you've raised. But and it also links into something that I think is fascinating at the moment about accountability. Because you have this sort of swarm where people really wanted them all to apologise for everything. They want to put their anger we're seeing it a lot in all sport at the moment. Like when Spurs got beat 4-1, I felt like the guy interviewing Thomas Frank wanted him to sort of apologise for being alive, and he's trying to say, no, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
And Stokes is obviously he's not going to give an inch, is he? So if he feels like he's so alpha, if he feels like someone's trying to make him feel ashamed, he's not going to even give you the slightest sense that, do you know what I mean? But internally they probably will be going back and thinking, okay,
of course. Well, in the public eye, Stokes will be he's protecting his team. He's got everyone's back, and he'll
protect the pride.
Of
Lions.
So I think that's that. From that point of view, he'll be doing that. But definitely, when they're away from the public eye, they'll be thinking about, where can we get those 1%ers and change a little bit of this and that to make sure that when we get in that position again, if we're 100 ahead with 9 wickets left, we absolutely make sure we stand on their throats.
It's so mad. The amount of, because it's so, if you think about batting, it's 0.0 whatever it is reaction time, and the amount of scrutiny that's sort of a decision that you have to make so quickly, it must be a mad headspace for a batter now to have 2 weeks to think, okay, so nothing outside of something, but it's got to be instinctive as well, purely instinctive when you're batting, isn't it? Because you can't make a decision that regularly, that correctly. You're going to have to play. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's also sympathy with kind of everyone involved in this, because if you're Ben Stokes, the last thing you want to do is an interview straight after that sort of humiliation. And it was humiliating, really. They were just given the runaround, and it's hard. No one tried to lose the Test match like that.
And it was honest to say he was shocked. He just said, I'm shocked.
He said shell-shocked. And I think that's actually sort of enough. He goes, I'm shell-shocked. Can we just not talk about this now?
Yeah.
I'll sit down with you in a couple of days' time.
Can we not talk about
But
it?
the problem is, you've got a journalist or a pundit going, I've got to get an answer here. We've got to get the soundbite. You've got Ben Stokes going, I'm not going to give you what you want, mate. And then you've got the fans going, yeah, but you got to say sorry to us. But if you do then say sorry, you've got the Aussie team going, oh, they said sorry, got it.
It's really hard.
You can't really win. So I don't know what, there's no answer. And it's uncomfortable, but it's sort of amazing drama.
Yeah.
Because it's Shakespearean, all this stuff. It's so complicated and messy and imperfect and life. I hated, in that moment, I hated that team. As you should do.
Yeah, you have
you ruined my Sunday. But maybe it's nice for us to have something meaningless to moan about.
There's only one thing that Ben Stokes can do to answer everyone's issues, and that is win the second test.
That's it, isn't it? But sometimes I don't want my sports people to be talking. I just want them to be left alone. Go and do the thing that makes us all really happy when you do it well. And do you know what's going to be really
left alone? If they really win the second test, like at distance, then it's going to be a face-off then, isn't it? Like ideologically. Yeah. I'm actually excited now, you know. I was a bit gloomy when we walked in.
I think the series has been ignited with the story is always the story. And this story is insane and we can't even make sense of it. I've got my list of reasons to be cheerful. But I am sort of cheerful that we get to talk about it and it's exciting at least and it's a talking point. But can I just tick off a couple of things?
Go on.
Reasons to be cheerful. England's fast bowlers blitzed Australia in the first innings. Done that.
Yeah.
Smith, Green Lion, all clattered. Great. Stokes, Pfeiffer. Great. Harry Brook, Ollie Pope, Ben Duckett looked great at the crease. Carson Atkinson getting some runs in the tail as well. So back quite deep as well. Yeah. And with Mark Wood, he can score runs. There's stuff going on there.
I actually think
Jofra can bat.
Like, having said that, I think we're in the driving seat, you know.
Yeah. Did you hear Mark Wood on Mark Wood on Love of Cricket? He said he looked on sort of route planner on his Google Maps to see if he could drive to Brisbane just to get his head straight.
Like
he wanted to do a road trip.
Like a Roy Orbison.
Hates flying, but quite a nice thing to do anyway.
Like a Roy Orbison song.
But that's good. That's the psychology of that is obvious to everyone. Just wanted to get out of there, just drive away.
Yeah,
I've thoroughly enjoyed this. And I can't wait for the rest of this series. I will be up to watch that first ball again. We all will be because we're being gaslit by our favourite sport. This is not a healthy relationship we're in with this sport.
And I'm really enjoying Jimmy being gaslit by it for the first time.
This is why the guy wants to keep playing forever.
I know.
Because it's way more miserable on this side of it. At least you're in the team, you know, millionaire and you go and play golf. Let's welcome Machin Tendulkar. Machin Tendulkar!
Hello! Can you see?
Huge part of this podcast, Machin.
Thank you.
You are a polymath.
Yes.
Really. You're now a cricket expert.
Yes.
You're a shoe salesman.
Guilty.
You were Bristol's 11th most famous resident at one point.
2021.
At one point, yeah.
2021.
Not anymore.
Still counts. But today, you're a detective.
I am.
We sent you on a task. We gave you a case to go and crack. We said, go and find this guy that's gone viral.
It came up on the WhatsApp group. I think Jimmy mentioned it. There's a guy who travelled to the game for the day 3 and he didn't make it. And that story went viral.
It did, yeah.
And then I thought, how good would it be to get him on the pod? Surely it can't be done.
Yeah.
You know, everyone must be clamoring for this interview.
So you went into your Sherlock mind palace.
Yes, I did.
And all the things just going past your head, going blip, 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 blip,
I
blip.
spent days there.
And you've tracked him down.
I tracked him down and I eventually found him on Instagram.
Okay, that's how you did it. So
I followed him.
Yeah.
I messaged him and I thought there's no way he's going to message back.
Too famous.
He bloody did. And even better than that, he's here with us today.
We can say good day to Alex. Good day.
Hey guys, how are you?
Go well, cheers.
We're well. Yeah, well, you know, all things considered, we didn't travel to Perth to go and watch 2 days of what was sort of a test match but didn't feel like one. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a bit empty. Definitely test cricketless. What a whirlwind that was. Hey, so
I'm feeling test cricketless. What a phrase.
yeah.
That's how we all.
Yeah, we all feel a bit like that, don't we?
How are you feeling about being viral?
Look, it was. I've got caught a bit vulnerable because we were just having coffee the morning after. Myself and my old man ran into fellow Sydney sider who I played cricket with growing up, Tom Decent, who is now chief editor of the Sydney Morning Herald, and just said, "Boys, mind if I ask you a few questions of how you're feeling, and I'll see if I can work it into a story." And then landed back in Sydney, and phone had blown up with either people asking, "Do you actually live in Germany?" or "Sorry, mate, to hear that you didn't see any cricket." So that was it's been a bit odd.
I guess also because you're Aussie, Australia won, so you're kind of happy with it. So you must feel like your story is not the sob story of actual England fans, is it?
It's really not. Like, we went to Lilac Hill the morning after, where we got to see the Lions also get run over the top of. Not to rub salt
Okay.
into the wounds,
Yeah, well,
boys.
you didn't need to say it then,
Run
did you?
over the top of.
Don't say it then.
Run over the top of.
And there was some
Aggressive
both
phrase.
very hungover and like-minded Brits down there as well, you know. So we could have woken up with no cricket and a loss, but to be able to sit in a pub and watch Trav Head do what he did, things could have been worse, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you witnessed the birth of Trav Ball. You were there. It's what everyone's calling it. But there is actually a sadness to this because you were going to go to the third day with your old man, weren't you?
Yeah. So we don't get to go watch much cricket together these days. Obviously, I've been away for 4 years now, and we're both Sydney Cricket Ground members, so we could have avoided all of this probably and just gone to any of the 5 days down at the Sydney Cricket Ground. But we've turned it into a thing where we're making the most of me being away and getting the cricket difficult and actually touring all the venues of Oz. So we did the Gabba last year, which was actually a rain-affected day. I think we only saw 35 overs there last year, and thought, let's give Perth a crack this year. And that hasn't gone too well either.
No.
But we'll persist.
This is a wider question, and I thought about this a lot over the weekend.
Go on.
Is liking cricket worth it?
Yeah.
Because on Sunday, I genuinely thought, I hate this game.
Really?
I can't be bothered.
Because you felt sold short.
It's just
an
too.
experience.
Sometimes it's too much like hard work.
Yeah.
I wish I'd. Football, there's loads of it. If your team has a bad weekend, there's 30 more.
You can plan around
There's
it.
30 more weekends.
Yeah.
You get 5 tests in a series if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really lucky, you get 5 days out of some of those.
Mm-hmm.
It's just. The odds are against us as cricket fans that we're going to have a nice time.
Yeah, isn't that what we like about cricket though? But the odds are against us.
Is it?
I don't know.
Not this badly against us. You would never walk back into that casino ever again.
Yeah. I don't know.
The house always wins.
I've played cricket for 25 years and I've asked that question probably 20 times a year.
Yeah.
For the last 25 years.
What's the point?
Do I actually like cricket that much?
It's a great question.
But Joe, what I was interested in is that because like what I've learned from cricket is everyone internally, as Jimmy has just said there, people like nothing more than no cricket being on in cricket. So there's been a lot of complaining about this 2-day test match. But actually, and I don't want to sound offensive to people, wouldn't you just be like, oh, day 3, 4, 5, we're going down the beach. You know,
But not if
all the
you-
cricketers are like, oh, no cricket. Do you know, is there a feeling of like, actually, it's almost like performative complaining, but actually everyone's like buzzing.
Well,
I've got some
not
time off.
not if you only got tickets for days 3, 4, and 5.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I don't be offensive
if
to
you're a
people.
fan,
but exactly.
I think if you're a journo and you've been doing it for 50 years,
Yeah.
and you go, I can't believe it, they haven't gone to the 3rd day, but you still get paid for 5.
Yes.
Still getting paid for 5.
Or do you?
Agnew's getting paid for 5, let me tell you.
Right, okay. So,
But he has a couple of days off in Perth.
yeah.
So, on that, Alex, what was the mood amongst the Brits? Did you dare to speak to any? Were you gloating in front of any of them? Did you dare?
No. It's funny you're talking about not liking cricket, and actually, Jimmy, you handed me a day 2 years ago, Edgbaston Day 3, where it also rain affected. We watched England bowl out Australia in a spectacular collapse, and then it rained for the rest of the afternoon, just enough that we didn't get our ticket refund for the day.
Oh.
And I was sat on the train from Birmingham back to London, just going, why?
Why?
Am I
Why?
spending
Is this?
my
Yeah.
London minimum wage on these tickets? You know, to watch Jimmy run through the Aussies at Edgbaston, and I was asking myself the exact same thing. And so I think I could sympathise a little bit with the boys out at Lilac Hill the other day, where, you know, a few of them are a bit down, and I said, you know, it could be far worse. It's a sunny day in Perth.
That's what I'm saying.
The beers are cold. Just get
That's
into
what-
them and they'll fix everything.
Yeah.
Did you meet anyone else that had also just had day 3, 4, and 5 tickets?
Yeah, I ran into a couple of Brits who were only doing 1 or 2 tests of the tour, and only had Perth,
God.
or Gabba. So they had been through that too, and a few Sydney siders who were flying back with us, who had spotted us and really were not liking that we were claiming all the limelight for me and my old man, claiming the limelight for only having day 3 tickets when they were doing the same thing.
Yeah. Will someone
there's
please think of
no
the
compensation.
Aussies that were shortchanged? Please.
Especially when I didn't speak German, they were really confused by that. So everyone seems to think I'm German out of this.
Yeah. Some of these guys have come from the Gold Coast. Yeah. Alex, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, and you
See you
too.
later.
Go on,
Cheers.
cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Ciao.
Loved Alex. That was a
What a
great
great guy.
Great find.
You never know what you're going to find when you dig deep into these.
When you stalk people on Instagram.
Well, we follow each other now. We're friends on Instagram, and you're always welcome, Alex. If you want to come and watch a test match over here,
Oh,
come
yeah,
on.
but he might be. Do you know what I mean? He might come and watch no cricket here as well, and
Yeah,
then you'll be in
true.
trouble.
Yeah.
It's annoying, isn't it, when you get on well with Aussies? Do you feel like that, Jim?
No.
Okay.
Have you ever got on with an Aussie, Jim?
Yeah.
You got loads of Aussie
Oh,
mates. Yeah.
Do you? Yeah.
Who's your best Aussie friend?
Yeah. Great question.
I wouldn't say I have a best one.
Who's your best Australian friend?
If you were going to have a dinner party with 3 other Australians,
3
Yeah.
now.
who would you invite round?
I don't have favourites.
You have to have 3.
All right.
Your life depends on this.
Otherwise, you're eating on your own.
He would like that.
I don't want to
Like
alienate all the Australians that I know.
Yeah, but who's the last Australian you
I think
texted?
you've already done that, Jim.
Probably Chris Green,
Mhm.
Marcus Harris, who's also
Right.
a teammate
Oh.
at Lancashire,
Okay.
and I'll stick Marcus North in there, who's a former teammate of mine.
Lovely.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice gang.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's all right. As long as it's the truth.
Yeah.
Thank you, James, for your honesty.
Pleasure.
Matching. Great work with Alex. What else you got for us?
I don't even remember last week we played a little game. It wasn't a game. It was a bit. It was a segment.
I remember last week, yeah.
Welcome to.
Do you remember last week?
Not that old. Yeah, I do remember last week.
Welcome
Actually.
to. Am I right? The Gabatoire edition.
Thank you for having us on
Thank
Am
you.
I Right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Gabatoire
yeah.
edition.
So for those people that might not be too into cricket, but they want a little something to drop into conversation in the pub or in the workplace,
Brilliant.
you can use these lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're verified by Jimmy Anderson, and then you look like you know what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Much like I do on this podcast every single week.
Yeah.
As we all do.
So if you're at a stag do or a work trip or in the pub
Exactly.
and you just need a line to help you fit in.
Everyone's talking about the Ashes. You're not sure quite what to say. You
Yeah.
sidle up and you say, guys, I'm not sure if you know this, but the Gabba pitch is old school. A traditional built-in wicket, not one of those modern drop-in pitches grown off-site and craned in like a giant doormat. This is handcrafted wicket. This place has character and personality baked into the soil. Am I right?
Would you be reading it like you just read it there in front of people? Or? Okay.
Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It's really good. It is a really good point, and it's a good one for, I'd say, cricket nerds to talk about.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I think in a pub this week you're going, what about that batting collapse, eh?
Yeah.
Do you see Travis Head?
Yeah, I've got some other stuff like that. I was going to.
This is next level. It's good though. It's next level.
I think once you've infiltrated a conversation, that's a great one.
Maybe use that one third.
So you do. They're always playing golf. Do you see Ben Stokes have a go at Aggers? Eventually you get to this.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, Jimmy, do you feel the difference when you're playing between the baked-in pitches or the craned-in pitches?
You're talking about a baked-in pitch like your Mary Berry. I don't really understand what you're talking about. What does baked in mean? Like a normal cricket ground. That is a normal cricket ground.
Panic stations in the pub now. Come on. I think.
This is great. This is a good scenario. You've just spoken to your genius cricket mate who knows everything about the game. He's going like, "What do you think about them baked-in pitches?" And he's gone, "What are you talking about?"
You're talking about baked-in pitches like your Mary Berry.
Please describe a baked-in pitch to me, please. Thank you.
He's thinking 4 and 20 blackbirds.
I might get another drink.
Come on. Baked in pitch.
Baked in means, I think, my understanding is that it was grown there in the ground. So it's been there for years. And whereas other grounds, a lot of other grounds, Melbourne, the Optus, they grow it elsewhere. And they crane it in, and they're like, "Let's check that out." Whereas the Gabbatoir, that's where it's got character. It's been there for years. It's got a story to tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
The pitch they'll be playing on will be the same pitch you bowled on.
No, it won't. But
because they relay them, don't they, quite often?
Yeah, okay, but I mean,
go on, Jim.
I mean, you're describing a baked-in pitch like a one-off at the Gabba, whereas 95% of wickets around the world have been there for the majority of time.
Can I just say as well, a giveaway is that you're holding your chair so tight now.
The unusual bit is the drop-in pitches, which you get mainly at, as you mentioned, Perth, MCG maybe.
Okay. Those pitches
like
in America,
New Zealand, some places, but they're so rare that you get drop-in pitches that Brisbane is just your typical everyday cricket ground.
Baked in.
There you go. That's more.
Well, it was until they've redone it. They might actually use drop-ins now. Have you checked that fact?
Baked in or drop-in?
Okay. I got another point. I was just thinking, right, guys.
What are you thinking about? To bail you out here a bit. Do you notice a difference bowling on a drop-in wicket?
No.
Okay.
You don't? Really? You wouldn't notice it?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, interesting.
Because it's sort of, they do, it's like quite a tight fit where they drop it in. Yeah. It knits together.
Yeah.
It's not like a mind the gap sign where the drop-in's gone in the outfield.
They put the carpet in proper.
They thought it through.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So you don't really feel, I've never noticed a difference.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Yes, Matchin.
It's not all, look, you guys are getting so down and out. Right? It's not all doom and gloom. I'm not sure if you know this.
I know, we know.
That's your baked-in pitch chat.
I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm imagining what the conversations around.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, this is scripted.
Sorry.
So you're on the pub, you're going, England are rubbish.
Imagine the hubbub in the background.
Okay, look, should we do that?
Yeah.
England are rubbish. What's the point?
And again, people have gone out there, spent good money on that.
Guys, it's not all doom and gloom.
Whoa.
I'm not sure if you know.
It is though, isn't it?
But I'm not sure if you know this, but root combat at the Gabbatoir. His knock of 89 in 2021 gives us hope. We don't need 11 heroes. We just need Joe to fix the root of our batting issues. Am I right?
It sounds good. That actually worked for me.
Yeah, that did work for me.
I liked that. Give us some more information on that.
I had a flashback to that innings then, which was an innings of. Do you remember that innings matching? Because we were doing Tailenders when we did innings.
I remember. It was great. It was a great innings.
Great innings. Anything else?
At the Gabba, at one of the baked-in pitches.
Yeah, that was an innings of absolute guts. That because I think because I remember he was batting in the third session, and he ended up, Jim, you were playing, pointing his bat at the slip cordon who were like chatting at him, and he was like surviving through the third session. I remember thinking that is a sort of Galactico Ashes moment there. I remember it really clearly. Nicked off the next morning.
Your memory of cricket is a joke because I was playing that game. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, you won't remember it, but yeah,
I can't remember any of it.
Okay, but we were in the hunt then. I remember we were in that game.
Yeah.
Well, we're right. We shouldn't write off the top order.
Yes.
Like everyone wants to, because we've only had 2 days of cricket, and you can't judge anything on that. And so we've got a lot of. That's a lot where the frustration comes from. Is we know that there's runs. There's runs in that top order.
That's what I think. Basically, we're overreacting. England have got a sort of England and English media have got a toxic relationship with this England team and Bazball. Like when it goes well, everyone's like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever." As soon as we have a little bad game, this is, "Oh my god, it's over. I'm never going to see him again."
Yeah,
we just need to just relax. It's going to be. It's anything could happen. If I had said to you last week, no batters are going to get any runs apart from Travis Head, and it's going to be over in 2 days, you would have laughed me out the studio. So
we do that anyway.
So anything could happen for the next one.
That's true.
Crawley could get a double ton.
Can we not invite this guy out again when we're just having drinks? Because this has been way too intense.
Okay.
All right, come up with a prediction then for like a stupid prediction for Brisbane, and then we'll laugh you out of the studio.
Okay.
See if you're right next week.
Root's going to get a couple of wickets and Crawley's going to get a double ton.
Laughing at you. We'll see who has the last laugh match in. Get a double gin and tonic.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. Go well.
Cheers. Love you.